And a very good afternoon to our viewers out there. This is podcast, a play on the community podcast. We are streaming live from our studio in Narellan. We've got some young kids in here, and I'll tell you what, these are the kids you look up to as role models because these guys are fantastic. They've been doing a lot of work. Just a very, very short introduction. So we've got Seipepa, Lapili,
and Matelypajh.
Matelypajh, yeah.
What's up, kids? Thanks for coming on the show, man. It's our first show, and I said to Albert, listen, I know we can bring a lot of people here, man, but I wanted to bring these kids on here because the up and coming of these kids, right, with their parents, training them, taking them to training, bringing them home, you know, the sacrifice of these parents, and this is where it starts. You know, we're only a small studio, okay, Al?
Yep.
Only small, and this is probably their first ever interview with us, and they're gonna, you know, there'll be, you know, big interviews, man.
Big interviews.
Just remember us, okay, guys?
You know, talk about greatness and what, you know, these kids have been doing and how they could be role models for our Polynesian. Have a listen to this. Here's the record. 2 years of boxing coach down in Melbourne at Sam Colomban. 1 year of wrestling, the Australian wrestling coach under Talgat. 8 years. 8 years of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu under Professor Marcelino Freitas in the Into Performance Gym down in Melbourne. So, the story goes, in 2023, they then moved down to Sydney under Coach Abel Brites at Fairfield MMA, training Monday to Thursday. Fridays are MMA Sparring days. So you won't catch Mark or myself there. We'll get knocked out. You
won't see me.
Classes are MMA, BJJ, Nogi, boxing, kickboxing rather. July 2024, February 2025, they trained at the Grappling Bros Plumpton under Coach Rafael Santana. They helped they coached the BJJ, the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu on Monday and Tuesdays. Toddlers, kids, teen classes, and trained in adult classes. That's awesome, mate. That's awesome. So not only are these kids trained, but they're also giving back to the community by going out and, you know, getting involved in these workshops. April school holidays 2025, Seipepa, Lepili and Matelypajh, had the privilege of training at the City Kickboxing Gym in New Zealand. The City Kickboxing Gym in New Zealand under Eugene Bareman.
You know who Eugene is, eh?
Mate, these are all big names. These are big names. These are people that have been in the game a long time. So, yeah, hands together for that. Also, they train alongside the UFC fighters. How do you pronounce this name? Navajo, Sterling, and...
Is that right? You can jump in.
You can jump in and tell us who it is?
Tell us.
Sterling Navajo.
Oh, Navajo. See, there I go again. I can't even get the pronunciation.
Is that like a Spanish name or a Brazilian name? Is it Pep?
Thank you for having us.
No worries, man. Thank you for coming, man. You know, we're family, you know, with your first cousins with your dad. But for me, like, with the parents, the outcome of the parents, like the sacrifice the parents do, man. My cousin, man, you know, sometimes I want to cry because this guy works hard for his kids, man, and his family. Works very hard, man. He does 2 jobs, maybe 108, 110, sometimes 115 hours a week. This guy sacrificed for his kids. So, hey, give a good shout out to my cousin Lops, even his wife, man, doing the good deeds for the kids, man, and that's what it's all about, eh? So, welcome, guys, Pep and the 2 brothers, Matelypajh and Billy.
Put your hands together, folks. Put your hands together. So, I've just got to ask the question. You've got a passion for the sport, this thing, and you dedicate a lot of time. I mean, you don't just wake up in the morning and say, hey, you know, I want to be an MMA fighter, or I want to get into boxing, or I want to get in the ring. What is the driving passion behind it? What is it? You had a dream that you wanted to get into this, and now you're here, like you know.
So my dad was in the MMA industry for a little bit, so he was probably the main influence for me. He used to do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and one day me and my brothers watched him train, and then the next day we told Dad, oh, we want to try this. We feel like we need to do this.
So there's a saying that says that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. You know? So watching your dad and obviously the attributes that your father has really runs in your veins. So it's like almost like you know you're destined to be, you know, something like what Dad was doing. And
Sort of built. The family's sort of built around the sport, ready there. You know, built
that's
around
amazing.
the.
Yeah.
It's good, man.
Yeah, no, that's excellent. Thanks for sharing that with us. So we want to go to the young fellas up there in the lounge.
What's up, boys?
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Is your mic working?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fire away with your questions.
Tell us your fella's name, mate.
My name is Lepili.
Yeah.
My name's Matelypajh.
Matelypajh. Yeah. So how's it been going, man? With like your sister said, you've been doing this for a while now, since you were little kids, and now he's teenagers. You know, once you become teenagers, I think the mindset and the body changes. But the main thing is the kids still being there, active with the sport. Hey,
Yeah.
how does it feel being in this kind of sport, guys? Just give us the answer of how do you feel being in this game, man? That you love.
It feels good.
Yeah.
I like to go train hard, and one day might make it to the MMA.
Yeah. What about you, Matelypajh?
Yes, I would too, and hopefully one day probably make it to the UFC or the PFL.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
That's good, man. So you've been training for a long time too, eh? How's training been?
Good.
Yeah. What about you, Billy?
It's been good.
Yeah. Lot of driving here. Yeah.
Takes like about an hour to get there, an hour to get back home. from
Yeah.
Training.
See these guys trained in New Zealand with that Eugene.
Yep.
Eugene's bringing up all those fighters from New Zealand
Yep.
in the UFC.
Yeah.
And these guys just come back from New Zealand, yeah?
Yeah. Awesome.
And Eugene didn't want them to come back to Australia.
Really?
They wanted to sign a contract straight away.
Well, we might just be seeing some of Australia's best MMA prodigies coming out of. Eh?
I think we better be the manager, eh? What do you reckon? Hey, that's your new
I think we should leave that up to the professionals, mate. What do you think, boys? You know?
Yeah, so
Okay, so that's the way that is. I've got to tell you. So Lepili, would you say you train harder than Matelypajh, or?
I think we train the same amount. We train hard enough.
Yeah. So you've got to go that extra mile. You're pushing yourself every time you train, and just to get that extra. You know, that's what gives you the competitive advantage, is to push yourself more than, you know, you're going to come up against some people that have been training just like yourself, training hard. And I think training, not that I know a lot about your training, but I think it's that thing of making a personal choice. Obviously, you're committed to the sport, and you're representing not only your family, but you're representing our people. And that's something magnificent. So just like Jai Apataya with Jai is now, I mean, I'm looking here, and I think we're looking at the future of Australian boxing here, like Australian MMA. What would you say? What would you say to that?
100%, man.
100%, yeah.
Hundreds, heaps of dedication there. Another thing, they're half Samoans and half Cook Islanders, yeah?
Yeah.
Hey?
Wow. Okay. Half Cook Islanders.
And half Samoa. Samoa.
Samoa. So we've got Cook Island in the house. Oh, sorry, I got carried away there when I said Cook Island in the house. Yeah, true, bro. True.
Right, yeah, see? Told you, man.
So we've got a heap of
So
comments
family.
there. We've got a heap of comments there. So turn it up also. We've been told to turn it up. Our sound is apparently low. So
Yeah, we'll turn it up a little bit.
how's that?
Move your mouse for a sec.
Yep.
Ah, yep. So we got Samuel. Who else? Samuel saying hello. Junior. Sungia saying proud of you guys. Keep up the good work. That's your cousin, eh? Yeah. Thanks to mum and dad. What else we got? Sounds good. Anyway, let's go back to thing. So what's the next question there, Albie?
So I've got to ask this question. And I'll go to Seipepa. What do you do in your training or in your commitment that would give you an advantage over, say, your competitors or something like that? What do you think?
Probably just the support that I have plays a big part in my career.
Yeah.
I think I like to thank my mum and dad for always coming to training, dropping me off, picking me up, taking me to my tournaments, and just being there in general really helps me pursue my goal.
That's pretty good, man.
It's pretty good, pretty good.
At least they've got something to aim for, you know. Always got a goal. And like they say, your dream will come true, man. If you give it 110% every time you go and train, yeah, you'll get there, man.
You got a question? You got a question for the boys, mate?
Matelypajh, I just want to bring Matelypajh. Come up to my screen, Matelypajh. Come up to me. This guy, man. You see the size of this fella's hands? It's probably bigger than yours, Albert. But the wrist lock on this fella, he showed me it. Can you, you want him to show you a wrist lock?
Oh, I'm feeling a bit nervous, mate. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Good work, Matelypajh.
Good work. Good on you, mate. Good on you.
Go back and sit with your brother, bro.
Good on you, mate. Good on you. Rolling on, rolling on. What's the next question for these young fellas? By the way, thanks very much for coming into the studio. I hope you guys are enjoying the studio session.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks,
nice.
thanks, man. Thanks for coming on live.
Privilege is all ours. What advice would you give someone that's your age, like that wants to do this but is finding it hard?
I would say just to follow your goal, no matter what anyone says or like whoever puts you down, just do it and prove them wrong.
Yeah, that's a good answer, man. Go out there and do your best.
Do your best.
Yeah.
Go out
Do
there.
your best.
You know, don't. These kids, man, they've been, like I said, they've been training for a while. They don't go in half-hearted, man. They go in full. Get in there, have a go, you know. And you know the good thing about it too. They got a big house in Marsden Park, and they got one of their rooms, all mats, so they train when they get home too, man. They got a gym, full gym equipment in their garage. After the gym, they come do their jiu-jitsu.